All right, I want to talk to you about the pig pen effect, part 2. Remember, we started this last week. The Charlie Brown character of the pig pen. There's always that cloud of odor and smoke that you see following him wherever he goes, and it's because he, I guess, didn't bathe or never had a bath, or those things are always smelling. And so I'm talking to you about the things of your life that are constantly following you and holding on to you, but probably you're holding on to them, but either way. Jennifer, good to have you on here tonight. All right, so I'm not going to say hi to any more. Glad you're popping in, everybody. We want to go to the Word, and we'll say hi after a little bit more, but feel free to make comments and tell me what you're thinking. So last week we talked about the baggages, the things, and whatnot. I don't want to talk about cliche stuff because it's not worth it. There you go, Java Man, Brian, Mission ChurchNE, just put up a little note for you there to help if you want to give an offering. So listen, if you're talking about life being hindered, and you're hindered in life, hindered is in the way or preventing progress. So we have to talk about things in your life that are in the way of your life and are preventing progress in your life. Let's face it, we all have things that we carry around in our lives that should not be in our lives, that we should walk away from. But let's talk about a real God and a real day to real people about real life. Walking away from things is not always easy. It's so easy to say it. It's so easy to put it out there and say, you just got to let these things go. You got to give up these things. But let me tell you something. Letting things go is not always easy, and giving up things is definitely not always easy. And so I want to talk to you about that. I know you have things in your life that are challenging, and they present great issues with the progress of your life, whether it be with relationships or work or job or just living at home and physically, financially, emotionally, whatever those cases may be. Yes, you should stop overeating. Of course you should stop overeating, but is it always easy to stop overeating? No, you probably shouldn't drink so much soda. No, you shouldn't eat fried foods so much and all these things. But, the reality is that we're living life, we're in life. There are things that we need to use wisdom for and knowledge for. So at the end of the day, if you are doing things, and I'm just trying simplicity, are you ready for this? If you're doing things that cause you to be heavy and gain weight, well, then you have to be okay with being heavy and gaining weight. You can't say, I'm heavy and I'm gaining weight and it's upsetting me and I don't want this. Well, okay, then you have to change things in your life. And and I know changing things in your life is not always easy. You follow me? Hi, Liz Madison out there. Corey, good to see you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm saying changing things in life is not the easiest thing to do. You see, let's just work with a truth, okay? Forgiveness. Let's talk about forgiveness just for a moment. Forgiveness is not a feeling. It's actually a decision. It's not something you feel. It's not something that overwhelms you. It's actually a decision. You come to a place in a decision in life where you just say, you know what, I'm going to forgive you. It doesn't mean that you've changed your mind. It doesn't mean that you've changed your ways or whatnot. It just means that, I'm not carrying this unforgiveness anymore, and so I've made a conscious decision to forgive. God will begin to heal your soul. I believe this, no doubt, of the hurt and the pain when you make that decision to forgive. Until then, you are going to be hindered in your life. See, that's what unforgiveness does. When you can't forgive somebody, it creates a hindrance, as you know I've said, it prevents progress. And so we want to shake off things and somehow change things and do away with things that prevent the progress of our life, right? Let me say something. My mom is going through a really big thing right now, and it's nothing major, but it's a big thing. It's coming to the place. She's been living in the family home now by herself since my dad passed 8 years ago. Doesn't feel like 8 years, but it's been 8 years. And the home is slowly costing her a lot of money, because it's upkeep. When you're with somebody and you have family, you just kind of do all these things together. But when you're by yourself, 82 years old, looking after a fairly large home and big piece of property, all of a sudden it becomes extremely overwhelming, very overwhelming, right? And so now she's come to the realization of, maybe I should sell the house. Well, this is hard. This is hard, right? Because, selling the family home where you raised your kids, you loved your husband, you created great memories. Amen. God bless. I miss all the hugs too. Hi, Gina Marie. Good to see you. And so you can't make these decisions so easily like that. So it's been a process. It's a tough time. But I'm going to tell you something. If she doesn't make these decisions, she'll carry the house like a baggage. She'll carry these things like baggages because it becomes a hindrance to the process, right? It becomes a hindrance to progress. It'll eat all her dollars. It'll eat all her money. And this is very, very true. All right? Let me say this. If you are waiting for someone to earn your forgiveness, this is very important. You're waiting for someone to earn your forgiveness, meaning they have offended you and whatever, and now they're trying to become friends again, trying to change that and whatever, and you're kind of like over here going, well, you have to earn my forgiveness. You have to earn it. What exactly does that mean? How does someone earn your forgiveness, right? And you can list a lot of things, but at the end of the day, if you're waiting for someone to earn your forgiveness, you're going to wait for a very long time. Because number one, nobody can live up to the standard that you set or I set for somebody who's wronged us or hurt us or done something that has caused us pain in life or whatever the case may be to earn your forgiveness. Who waits around long enough for that? So you either forgive or you don't, right? So, it's kind of like those things. But these are our baggages in life, and these are the stuff that hinders progress in our life. This is so important. Thank you, Sherry, for that. Yeah. This is an act of will, right? So let me say, God the Father set it in his heart to forgive as a free gift. So God the Father set it in his heart. He sent his only begotten Son for salvation, for redemption, as a free gift. You don't have to earn it. You didn't have to earn your forgiveness with God. Why is it that we have to earn forgiveness with every human being in life that maybe we've done something wrong to or confronted, or you holding back forgiveness? Yet God Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, sent his only Son, the one you serve, the one I serve, says, I am just going to freely forgive any sin, any challenge, any struggle that you have in your life, and you don't have to earn it. I'm giving it to you freely. You think about back in the garden, Adam and Eve. He created them for his good pleasure and for them to commune and have companionship, and they went against everything he said. How heartbreaking is that? Literally. And then had to espouse them from the home, the garden. How hard is that? And then as a father, creator, had to watch them in pain and in struggle and challenge and all the things that these failures and disobedience brought into their life. How challenging is that as a father? But then when you realize that, what? I also have the ability and right to say, you're my children, and I love you, and I forgive you, and you don't have to earn it, and you don't have to work for it, because that's just what it is, a free gift. How amazing is that? Sometimes, you see, here's something for you. Can I say this? You might agree or disagree, but I kind of tend to agree with the statement that I'm going to make. Unforgiving people are miserable people. People who can't find it in their heart to get past the struggles and challenges that have faced them in life, they tend to be miserable people. They're not always good to be around. Do you know why they're not always good to be around? Because they talk about the same thing over and over and over again. They've been hurt, they've been wounded, and can't believe they did this, can't believe they did this. And if you all have something in common, like friends and these types of things, they will just keep, every time you get together, they'll talk about it again and again and again because they just refuse to forget. They're hindering progress in their life, therefore hindering progress in your friendship and relationship. I mean, these things, you know what? Just choose right now. There is absolutely nothing in life that people have done to you that hasn't been done to other people for years and years and years and years. People have been hurt and wounded and all these things. They've been taken advantage of. They've been scammed. They've been abused. They've been taken of their money. I mean, it's easy for some of us to say who haven't been swindled or whatever, but some people in this world have been swindled by millions and millions of dollars. Look at the Bernie Madoff story and stuff like this. People around this country have literally lost so many things because of lies and deceit and all these things, right? So they're either going to allow that to now be the epitaph of their life and their story, and that's all they can talk about, it's all they can speak about, or they're going to let it go. It's just going to just go. It has to go. These things have to go. See, listen. Sometimes the past needs to be absolutely abandoned. I mean, abandoned. Right? Listen, I have the mother of my children is one of the most wonderful women that I know, if not one of the greatest, next to my mom and my sister. But one of the most wonderful women, she's my ex-wife. She's the mother of my children. There's plenty of people out there that have been divorced in life, and they just kind of need to abandon that because they are not good together. And whenever they text or talk or share or speak, it is not good. I mean, it is just nasty and nasty and nasty. And sometimes you just need to abandon that relationship altogether, not just divorce, like altogether. However, I'm blessed that my ex-wife and I, we get along extremely well. I mean, we talk often, if not weekly, and it's just a blessed relationship, right? So we went through a lot. We went through many, many things and many trials and many hurts and many pains and many situations, and we emerged as just being so good to one another, so blessed to one another. And what's the blessing of that? That means I don't have to abandon that relationship. You know, you can find powerfully awesome things in the midst of really hurtful, painful things. They are there. But sometimes, if it's nothing but hurt all the time, and nobody has reached forgiveness and those types of things, wow, sometimes you just have to walk away. Not easy, but true. How do you feel about that? Yeah, it's pretty powerful. You see, I have lived much of life that many of you have lived, and it's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy, and I get it, and we get it, right? Sometimes to be abandoned, yes. See, let me say this. Life, as you know, is a journey. I'm not speaking anything different to you. But on this journey, you can't, are you ready for this? You can't carry everything. You can't carry everything with you on this journey of life. Only the usable baggage. So, you know what? You got to carry stuff. You got to bring stuff. And you got baggage. And you can't carry everything. So the baggage that you're carrying has to be useful in your life. And that's the way you have to look at it. Anything else will hinder the progression of your life. See, look, you've probably heard of this. Ready? Are you ready for this? You've probably heard of this. People have a fear. Oh, too much friction? Oh, I'm sorry, Sally. Hopefully, maybe I can get a little closer to this microphone. People have a fear. Are you ready? You know what? I forgot my little thing. That could be why, Sally, and I'm so sorry. I'll be sure to have it next week because I was using a different little microphone, and I'll have to be sure to have that next week. People have a fear of missing out, but what about the fear of letting go? week, listen. Brothers and sisters, it says, I do not count myself, is what Paul said, or consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. But one thing I do, forgetting those things that are past and behind, and straining for what is ahead. See, the problem wasn't that I have baggage in my life. That's not necessarily the problem. Everyone has baggage. You know it and I know it. But that it had come to now define me. Next week, I'll have that little microphone. Sorry, Sally. And next time, say something up front and I can fix those things. Next week, I'm going to talk to you about how these things that you're carrying in life define you now. That's the challenge. That's the struggle. I don't want to be defined by broken things, baggage things, things that are not causing me to be progressed. Absolutely not. Not interested in that. Now listen. I am so grateful for the opportunity to come to you every Wednesday and every Sunday. Maybe this Sunday will be in person. That's the hope and the goal. But I want you to know something beyond that. I am blessed and I'm honored and I'm touched that you show up and we get to talk and we get to have a wonderful meeting. Thank you for your giving and thank you for your blessing and thank you for praying for me and lifting me up. It's been a blessing. Let's continue. Let's continue to share great things, all right? Let's continue to share great things. You can go to missionchurchne.org and give via PayPal or find our address there and you can send it in the mail, whatever you like to do. But know this one thing. This pastor loves you, everybody. And I'll either be right here on Sunday morning live or we'll be in church live and still doing it. But either way, we're going to be doing it. God bless everybody. Talk soon.